Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. We are getting more questions answered in our favorite segment in today's Ask Sheriff Swanson. Thank you again for joining us today, Sheriff.
Hey, happy Friday to everybody.
Yes, happy Friday. We love it. Okay, so today we're talking about a very important topic, scams. So what is the biggest piece of advice to help us battle and combat these scams?
You know, they hit on emotion, and I've been dealing with it, and any police officer out there, we used to have a whole division, and that division dealt strictly with scams. And I think to myself, whether it's your loved one has been locked up and they need money scam, you won the lottery in a country you've never been to scam. My dad just yesterday got a call that there's a warrant for his arrest and that the sheriff of the Genesee County is coming after him. He's like, my son is the sheriff.
I love it.
There are people literally that wake up every day around the world and that's what their business is. Like, I can't even imagine what kind of value you think you give to life when all you're doing is trying to scam elderly, addicts, mentally ill, people through fear. There's no place for that in society, but it keeps happening. And we see tragic stories of people that get caught up in it. Yeah, that's the tragedy of scams.
Sheriff Swanson, so what scams are you seeing the most right now?
Well, the ones that actually cause the most harm are the ones where people are called that their loved one is either arrested or in the hospital, and they need money right now. They pull on the emotion of a grandmother or grandfather or a father and son, and we're seeing people rush over to the banks, rush over to different credit unions, and even over to stores to get cash to send out. And the second one is sextortion. They'll build a relationship with somebody online. They'll send a provocative picture and ask that you send one back. And as soon as you send one, and many times it's a very shameful, unbecoming picture, they call you and they say, if you don't give us 8, 9, 10,000 cash, send us to UPS or FedEx, that we're going to expose this to your husband, your wife, to your family. And people panic and do it. We've seen those two things cause the most problems. Of course, there's other ones. You know, you have a warrant for your arrest, you have all these other things, but those are the ones that cause the most pain. Do not fall for that. If you think it's a scam, call somebody in to get a second opinion, and it probably is.
And Sheriff Swanson, who's most at risk for these scams, and what should you do if you feel like you are being scammed?
Well, I think everybody's at risk, and we have to be aware that can happen. And many times they call when you least expect it, so you're off your game. You sometimes stumble. You give information before you realize, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? But definitely our elderly population, people that are homebound, people that live in AFC nursing homes, people still have phone communication, and they're not using just landlines. Most of the calls are cell phone calls, and people that are on no call lists, it can still happen. Don't feel under pressure ever to give information, to ever give money, and especially if you didn't call that organization. I don't care if it's Facebook, Bank of America, and whatever. We just had a case that State Bank caught before we had money sent out through the Fenton Postal Service because the lady came in and withdrew $8,000 and was going to send it out because her grandson needed it. State Bank saw that this was a big need, called our office. We were able to intercept that, and she took the cash and she actually put it into a hardcover book and wrapped the book in plastic and then sent it. And before it was sent out, we were able to stop it. That's how devious these people are.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So really, you should just hang up if you don't know who's on the other line.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay to be rude to scammers.
Right. We appreciate it. Well, thank you again for the valuable tips and for calling in today. We will see you next week, Sheriff.
Can't wait.
Okay, exciting. If you have any questions you'd like to ask Sheriff Swanson, just send it to WNEM at WNEM.com.